Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the grand finale here for League of Europe PT League Season number 2, round 16 at the wonderful Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, otherwise known as Interlagos. My name is King Kodiak. I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's grand finale. So, before we head into the connotations of the championship, let me bring in my co-commentator, the one and only, the best badger in the world. It is, of course, Badgerman.
Yes, very excited for this season finale. We have a three-way championship fight on our hands, and it could not be more interesting.
Indeed, indeed. Bit of a reduced grid this time. There have been a few technical issues that have delayed the start of Stream 4, which we do apologise for, but we have no control over. So nothing we can do about that. We work with the tools that we have, but we are here up and running now. So let's have a quick rundown of who we've got, and we will then get the championship connotations dealt with as well. Right, who have we got? We have got Black Panther, as he's oddly called, in the tower. That is Black Panther, who wasn't going to be with us originally, but thankfully he has now appeared. Good to see him on board. Graham in the Racing Point, still in the pits. We have Exy in the Red Bull, ready and raring to go. We have got Hautioki. He's part of Shazoo squad now. Excellent stuff. Vino is back in the McLaren. We have Merck, he's got an outside shot of the championship. He will need a bit of luck for it to go his way, but he's still mathematically possible for the Williams. There is Lucky Finger in the second McLaren. We have got Alexander in the Renault, one of our reserve drivers, here and with us tonight. We have Sniper, as always, in the Pink Panther. We have got Gangogon in the Ferrari in the pits. We have Kasu also in the pits at the moment. We have got Zudima, who's decided to do some lawn mowing after coming to where's he gone to? That's after the Biga de Pato, isn't it? He's giving himself some space down to Jun Xiao before getting underway. The championship leader Velo, he's just coming down to turn 4, so it's very much his to lose at the moment. He has a 16-point lead, I believe it is, at this point in time. His main rival J. Cole. He's still doable, but he will need a bit of luck to go his way. 14 drivers with us, and our 3 championship contenders still in the mixture.
Yeah, and just to quickly go into the permutations here between Velo, J. Cole, and Merck. You mentioned 16 points between Velo and J. Cole, 21 between Velo and Merck. So in order to become a champion, all Velo needs at this point is a top 4 finish that will guarantee him the championship. But P5 might not be able to. If Velo gets P5 exactly, there is a crazy scenario in which J. Cole needs the win and the fastest lap, and then we would go to count back on 3rd places, as they would be tied on 2 wins and 2 second places over the season. But J. Cole would have 4 3rd places compared to Velo's 2. That's how far we would go down. But only if J. Cole wins with the fastest lap to boot and Velo gets a P5. That is the only way that can happen. In any other scenario, if J. Cole doesn't get a win, we would have to go to Merck, and Merck actually needs the win as well. If Merck wants to become champion, he needs the win. A 2nd place would not be enough. 18 points, even with the fastest lap, 19. He's 21 down. You do the math very clearly. That's not going to work. So he needs the win there, and depending on whether he gets the fastest lap or not, if he does win, if he gets the fastest lap, Velo needs P7 or better. If Merck does not get the fastest lap, then Velo can take P8 or better if Merck wins. And if Merck wins, J. Cole has no chance anyway, because the gap between P1 and P2 is at least, even with the fastest lap, 6 points. And the gap between Merck and J. Cole, well, that's 5. So once again, that works out quite well. So that is the scenario. It's going to be incredibly, incredibly interesting, I reckon. I think J. Cole and Merck needs something to go wrong for Velo, but if there is a track where we've seen dramatic season finales, dramatic championship deciders, I think Interlagos is exactly that track.
Especially if it's wet. And,
Indeed.
And yeah, Brazil might be known for being a little bit on the damp side from time to time. But let's have a look at who's qualified where so far. So we've got 11 and a half minutes to go, so not yet halfway through the session. It's the Williams 1-2 at the moment of Merckx and Casu with a 106.573 and a 106.649. So a very short lap of one of the shortest laps of the Canada. Is it the shortest lap of the Canada?
No.
Not quite.
The shortest lap time-wise, the shortest lap distance-wise is of course Monaco, but the shortest lap time-wise tends to be Austria.
Yes.
It's much quicker in terms of average lap speed at around 240 kilometers an hour. Whereas here around Brazil, we get about 220, which is, I guess, sort of in the same ballpark as Russia. Slightly slower than the likes of France, Australia, but also slightly faster than tracks such as, surprisingly, Bahrain, China, or Spain.
Okie dokie. So Velo just crossing the line, getting a time on the board. He's completely run out of ERS energy, but still goes to the top of the tree at the moment with a 106.379. So very much burned the battery there. Jay Conley is out on track. What a great top 5 that is. Considering that that's been all of our fast drivers so far, with Harusuyoki not on the top of the table at the moment. But then he does this. It lulls us into a bit of false sense of security and then absolutely blitzes it. I'm assuming everyone's on soft tyres. Yes, they are. That's really not a surprise. And J. Cole returning back to the pits. No, he's either invalidated that run or not happy with it. 106.701 sees him in 5th position. Quite a few of the Excel guys are with us.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Zudima to come across the line. He is on his way to the line now. This is a pretty good time. He should be up there in the top 6. What is he going to do? Oh, actually, no. Just loses out to Alexander. Up to P7 he goes. But just loses out by a 10th there. But yeah, it really looks very much more like a spreadsheet there in the top 7. And than it does like a normal lineup. As Zudima actually pulls out of the way onto the grass there through turn 3. And make sure that he doesn't hurt anyone else on their lap, as I think that is Black Panther, who might be on a second run, and indeed he is. As the other cars there, the Renault of Alexander and the Williams of Merckx, are both on their outlaps, so there's nothing to be worried of there. But Black Panther has invalidated his first run on these tires, but I think, from what it looks like, as he gets a massive moment there, as Vino retires, and that is on the exit of turn 4. That is surprising. I think we can go on board with Exy to see it. And he's all the wrong way around. That must have been... It has the look of him spinning on the exit curve to the inside into the wall, and then going around and sort of back across the track to the outside again. I think, trying to diagnose this after the fact, I think that's exactly what was going on there. It's the only way I can see him end up in that position, in that situation. But meanwhile, Black Panther went up to P8 in all of that. Thankfully, the yellow flag there happened behind him, so no issue for him whatsoever on his lap. And now he has invalidated the next one. And he's also spinning his tires a little bit too much there, considering he's just set his fastest lap on them. You don't want to wear those tires out too much if you are going to start on them in the race.
Indeed, indeed. Kango-Kon has also got a time on the board of a 109.659. I was going to say the Excel boys, that's actually quite a bit of the grid. The Williams boys are out there again, Merckx and Casu. Purple Sector 2 for Merckx. It's been a little while since we've seen Merckx towards the sharper end. He was second in Zandvoort, but that was 3 rounds ago. He won.
What's his lap?
Okay.
That
Curious.
is surprising. He was pretty much in the fight for the pole position there with Velo. In fact, I just look at it. He was basically, it was the exact same time. I think he was 1 millisecond down after 2 sectors on Velo's time. So the only way I can explain this is that Merck was not happy with the final corner with
Must have been.
Jung with the way he took that corner, and then he decided, you know what, that didn't work. And usually that corner is what makes or breaks a qualifying run in 2 ways. Before you even start the lap, you want to get this corner as perfect as possible, because if you do, you get yourself the best run across the line. As we see Hautajoki here now up to P1.
Not by much, though.
Yeah, by under a 1/10 of a second there ahead of Velo. But, you know, you want a good run out of there to carry as much speed as possible across the line. And that can make a difference. Again, look at the gaps right there between Casu and Alexander, for example, and J. Cole as well. That's 1/10 between 3 drivers. You look at the gap between Black Panther and Lucky Finger, that's 1/10 between those 2. So about 1/10, you know, if you start your lap, that's the difference that this final corner can make. And then, of course, on your actual run, it can make a lot more of a difference on the flying lap.
Jacob just tripped over Hautajoki there. I think was that Hautajoki? No, beg your pardon. Must be. Oh, it's Alexander. Beg your pardon. He tripped over there. Or Alexander was appearing on track, yet apparently he was in the pit. So there's a bit of sync issue going on there, potentially with Alexander. But J. Cole up to 4th with the 106.604. He was so close to the start-finish wall, the pit wall. That was what made me wince earlier on. Everyone is pretty much back in the pits now, with the exception of Velo. Where are you? Down at turn 4.
Yeah, first sector. I was on board with him already. Massive slide there.
Invalid.
Oh, and he has invalidated. Yeah, he has invalidated as well. First sector wasn't that great already. He was 7/100ths of a second down on his previous best. So might be for the best, actually. He can take out a little bit of time there. Just basically throw away these tires and maybe use them in the race if he has to, if there is some kind of safety car or something. But usually, you know, Velo, especially with this time already, we expect him to be near the top of the grid anyway, and so he will start on soft tires, which means he will not use them again as this race, as he's using a lot of curb. They're almost losing the car again on what I would assume is going to be his in-lap, and indeed it is after invalidating. So we have 3 drivers on outlaps right now: Casu, Black Panther, and Lucky Finger right now. I think the first one to start a lap is going to be Black Panther. As Velo retires from the session, I think he's out of tires. I think he's tried his 4 runs, his 4 attempts, and he's he doesn't have any more tires to use, so he is done for qualifying, and no better than P2 for him. Black Panther, meanwhile, first sector down by 6.5 of a second. It's not much. You can still gain this back in the middle sector, but it's not the start he was hoping for to his lap. Meanwhile, we have Casu come across the line to start his first sector here. Looks good through the center S so far. Keeps it very narrow there out of the center S, interestingly. First sector up by 300ths. You take everything you can get in the first sector, as it's really only about 2 real corners, the left and the right of the center S. The final left-hander is a flat-out corner, so it doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme of things. Now through the middle sector goes Casu. This is what I always like to call the infield around here. This is where it's getting so slow. Black Panther has actually improved slightly. Up to P7 he went. So tight and narrow and twisty. You can't really overtake much there, apart from the exit of Ferradura and then into what will be, I think, turn 7 or turn 8, depending on how you count Ferradura. That long right hand of horseshoe, as it translates. And Casu goes back into the pit lane. He does not fancy his lap, surprisingly, once more. Another driver saying he doesn't like this. Lucky Finger across the line. Seems like no improvement there. J. Cole is going to start, either J. Cole or Exy. It's Exy, actually, starting his out lap. Then we have a, that should be Graham, come across the line. 3/10 up, could be challenging Sniper. Lucky Finger, maybe even, yep, he does challenge his teammate Sniper. just misses out on P10 over Lucky Finger there. We have a Ferrari come across the line. That was KangaCon, I think, with an improvement, but not nearly where we would expect him, really. Black Panther back into the pit lane. I think that is the session over for him. We have J. Cole about to start a lap, and that might be one to keep an eye out on. Zadima is going to start one as well, and Alexander is going to finish one rather soon after 2 sectors. No, never mind. 7.5 seconds down. He's about to start one, actually, though. And then we have, I think, Lucky Finger back into the pit lane on this run right here.
Oh, it's purple sector 1 for J. Cole, though. As we're riding on board with him, he's gone through turns 4 and 5. They're going to start coming back up the hill into the infield section, as Badger calls it. I fully understand why. Ferradura, turn 6, or turn 6 on my map, I should say. Now back downhill. Peronino, turn 9, back up the hill again. Such a difficult track this to get right. Black Panther has retired. May well have run out of tyres, same as Velo did. Now through Mugello, turn 11, over to the right-hand side using all the rumble strip, and then kiss the apex at Junxiao, and then it's flat out all the way to the line. Let's see what J. Cole can do this time. 106, 604, 0.3 of a second behind Hatayoki for the top spot. Does he improve? Answer is he does. A 106.569 sees J. Cole right behind his main championship rival in third position.
Here comes Zadima up to P7. I think the final corner was not that great for him.
And J. Cole fell off the road in the middle of the Ceneresis.
Oh, oh my. Merck, meanwhile, has just started a lap. Kasu also just starting a lap. Haotiyoki just started one. We're going to get a Sniper to start one as well. First one to come across the line now will be Exy out of... Oh, no, he's on his in lap. So that's that done. Alexander, I think... oh, no, never mind. Haotiyoki. Alexander just finished a lap. He's P6 now, just behind Kasu. Look at that. 3 milliseconds between them, but here goes Haotiyoki, second. Wow, second sector split 49.9. First driver under 50 seconds here. Usually the 50-second mark is what you want to get. Haotiyoki's doing exactly that. I think no one else got even close. 50.2 or 3 was the best we've seen, and there is the 106.1. Next, we look at the championship battle. Merck has invalidated.
Yes.
Merck has invalidated. J. Cole has invalidated. No second run for him. Kasu. Apologies. Kasu across the line. What's he going to do here? Narrow run to the line. That's how you want to do it. 1 minute 6.4.
Nice.
That is P3 in between Velo and J. Cole and Merck. So very, very helpful here for Velo. But not so much, I think, for J. Cole and Merck as Kasu's AI runs into the back of J. Cole's AI. Loses a bit of front wing there. Let's not talk about that. We have Alexander, who is the last one on a run, and it's not really a run. It's a slow walk.
Yeah, he's
into the pit lane.
And well, he's now got lots of AI right ahead of him, and his car is stopped on my screen.
So going for me.
Yeah, not. I've had this a few times tonight for some reason. We're having a lot of issues, it would seem, as Haotiyoki's AI is coming over the line again. It's not going into the pit lane for me. So
yeah, no, it's the AI. The AI stays out until the end of days, basically.
Until there is nothing left.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. The AI just making laps, you know, just getting experience, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, no, the AI will not come into the pit lane. All we need really is for Alexander to retire, and he just does, or he just got pushed back into the garage. So Haotiyoki on pole position, and that is very good news indeed for Velo, because at this point, if J. Cole wants to gain 16 points, or really 17 points, because he is down 1 win on Velo, he would need a P2. And either
minimum,
for Velo to finish 12th or worse, or 11th or worse if J. Cole gets second and the fastest lap. So a Finnish top 3, Haotiyoki, Velo, Kasu, then British 4-5, J. Cole, Merck, another Finn in P6. My goodness. how much can two nations dominate?
Wow, now the big question is, what's the weather doing? All eyes skywards, and that's pretty sunny. So they've been spared the pugilous weather for this final round here at Interlagos. So it is going to be an absolute straight fight between primarily J. Cole and, of course, Velo. But we will see how that pans out. Well, he can finish lower than 14th, which is of no consequence to anybody, quite frankly. But we'll see how that goes. We've seen even the best have the worst kind of luck at this circuit. So let's see how we get on as the timer has now begun to count down to our final warm-up lap of the season. And what a season it has been. It has taken us all the way through 16, or will take us through 16 rounds, and the championship is still alive and still at the positions to figure out midfield as well. So it's not just all eyes up front, although primarily it is, of course, because we do want to know who our Season 2 champion will be for the PC side here at League of Europe, as everybody has now loaded in, and we'll get this parade lap underway. Now this is when certain people will get very, very nervous.
Yeah, certainly for some drivers it can be very nervous, but meanwhile I was about to shout and interrupt you with a quick man overboard, because we have actually lost a driver here in Black Panther whose Wi-Fi went out. So
oh dear.
Yeah, let's hope he can restart that and rejoin in time for the race. Otherwise his AI will start the race and will absolutely get pummeled, I think, into turn 1, because usually the way it works is that the AI car ghosts, and as such everyone can just drive through him. And let me just quickly check. The AI setting here in this lobby is set to 70. Considering the pace of some of these drivers,
that's going to be quite 70. That's not going to be good, is it?
It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I think the likes of Hautayoki could probably put about 5 seconds a lap on a 100 and on a 70 AI.
Well,
so
Black Panther's rejoined the session. Won't be quite. He won't be back in his car yet.
Not yet. He might be able, if he can take control of it right now, he might be able to rejoin before the start. Maybe he's gonna have to sit out the start and wait until, I guess, maybe the end of the first sector, roughly, to take control. I'm riding on board with him to see if the car does unghost. It hasn't, so it might be that he is out of luck. At this point, all the cars... Oh, no, not all the cars ghost. Never mind.
So, some of them have, I've noticed, but they are under AI control as they now are taken to their grid slots for this 36-lap race here at Interlagos. Let's get this underway for the final time in Season 2 for League of Europe for the PC side. We know this procedure. It is time to wind them up and let them go as a pretty short hold, and away we go. Hautayoki's had a stormy start from the front. A lot of people are ghosted on my screen. It was a little bit worrying, but hopefully that sorts itself out before too long. Of course, Hautayoki is flying off from the field. The tower is completely confused on my screen, but it does tend to be early on. But let's have a look. Where is Velo then? He's on the inside, coming down towards turn 4. Oh, that was a bit of front wing flying for someone.
Oh, Sniper has spun. Sniper has spun in the background. Almost has spun, I should say. Oh no, he did spin.
He did spin.
And not just that. That was with his teammate Graham on his outside. So those two made contact. Teammate contact generally.
Oh, Velo's in trouble. Velo's in trouble. He's been battered around everywhere on my screen. So there was a definite sync issue there. On my screen, Velo is falling down through the field. Where's Velo for you?
No, he's still in P2. He's not in trouble whatsoever.
That explains why there's a gap there. So on my screen, Velo's actually fallen down to last, and he's going absolutely nowhere. So we'll see him battered around quite a bit. You'll have to tell me where Velo is in relation to everybody else as the race goes on. Oh, that's frustrating. But over the line first, of course, Hautayoki leading the way. Kasu is going to be effectively in third. I'm going to have to remember that. Alexander on my screen, for a brief moment, was actually deemed as 14th. Now Velo is now listed in third, even though his car on my screen was... Oh, my screen is all over the place. You'll have to try and help us out on where people are.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait until everyone crosses the line at the end of the second lap. It's second lap, it's not the third lap. It will say lap 3, I think, on your screen as well.
It does.
It certainly does on mine. Yeah, that's the issue that we have here with the timing. Timing doesn't really fully work right now, but once Haotiyoki starts lap 3, it should figure everything out. And at this point, we're gonna be fine, I think, with the timing as the two McLarens are battling. We have a yellow flag for nothing. No one's going too slow there. Really weird.
Alexander, perhaps? He looked okay on my screen.
No, Alexander's in P5 right now.
Oh, my screen he's 13th, so yeah, my tower is all over the place.
Oh my. Haotiyoki, meanwhile, with the fastest lap on lap 2, 1 minute 9.1. Don't think anyone can beat this.
I wonder if
DRS is now enabled.
Is it worth me rejoining the session, do you think?
I think that might work, yeah. Although at the same time, for Alexander, it still says to me that he is a lap down, but it still shows him in P5. So, yeah, timing strain very much. And P6 does not show as a lap down, by the way. I just want to make that very clear.
I am going to attempt a rejoin here, so if you wouldn't mind.
Do you have an invite?
I don't know. Is the answer? Okay, no. If you wouldn't mind, sir. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, but my tower was so badly out of kilter, it made no sense to continue like that because we just couldn't track where everybody was. So once I get a re-invite from Herr Badgerman...
I did send you one, so if you haven't gotten that yet...
No, I have not.
Oh, that might be Steam. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of radio commentary while that is trying to come through. Meanwhile, I was about to say we have someone coming to the pit lane, but no, it just looked weird. No, we do have Mercked, one of the championship contenders, into the pit lane at the end of lap 3. And that is surprising to say the least. That Williams coming into the pit lane from P5. And he is going for a front wing change, so he must have picked up some damage somewhere. He's going for medium tires. He will have to pit again, so he really has to hope that he can get a safety car throughout this race. Otherwise, he will have no chance to... I mean, yeah, I think the chances of him winning the race are slim at best at this point anyway, but even with the safety car, they might not improve all too much. He's back out in last, 30 seconds behind the leader, Haotiyoki, and about 16 seconds behind Vino in P13. As Haotiyoki has now... Oh, Vino has retired. That is on the entry to turn 8. And we have a virtual safety car. That's exactly not what Merckx would have wanted. And that is Vino just straight in the wall.
Oh, dear.
Backwards in the wall. I don't know how that exactly happened. I'm going to try and send you another invite meanwhile. Just, maybe this time it's going to work. But that's him backwards into the wall. Xe uses that to pit, but he's the only one to do so. Graham has picked up a penalty. First to do so. That is 3 seconds for him, as he is the only one on the hards right now. You have finally joined. There we go. Fantastic. Xe back out. Xe is on the hard tire. He will still have to pit once more, as the hard tire around this track only lasts 24 laps. You might be able to take him a bit longer, 26, 27 maybe, but certainly not 32 laps, as Xe would have to do. We're back under green. Haotiyoki leading about 3.5, almost 4 seconds ahead of Velo, who is trying to control. And Vino has left the session after retiring earlier. Velo really just controlling the gap to Casu and J. Cole.
Well, I now have Velo in P2. That's where I see him. That was more the important thing. I know that that sounds a little disingenuous, but of course, him being one of our championship contenders, it was rather important. I saw him in second and not last. Vino is out, as we can see. So it's Haotiyoki leads Velo, leads Casu, leads J. Cole. So race not going J. Cole's way yet, but still plenty of time for that to change. As now my timers should start sorting themselves out. Yellow in sector 2. The only person in it is Mercked. He hasn't lost his front... No, he hasn't lost his front wing. Oh, yes, he has. On my screen, Mercked has damage to his front wing. He
does, yeah.
No, after left just pitting.
Yeah, left side front wing completely ripped apart. Only the base, so that is on his screen it should show as either an orange or a red front wing on the left side.
That'll be
And
painful.
Yeah, it is painful. I think he might actually possibly even retire, considering where the rest of the field is. He's already 55 seconds down. We might see him park the car in the garage here. Gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane and insult to injury.
Well, yeah, he's parking that. He's usually the speeding in the pit lane. And there we go. He's usually followed very shortly by the retirement. Great shame, and back to straight out the session. I'm not really surprised. But the race continues. They're nearly 4 seconds in the lead. Is the Renault of Hautayoki. No one can stop the now Shazoo representing driver. Velo is the lead Excel driver. Oh no, J. Cole's day gets even worse with a 3-second penalty now on the board.
Yeah, that is rather painful indeed for J. Cole here. Any chance of potentially snatching the title away from Velo has just gotten a lot harder. Even if he does get a safety car and somehow it's at a foot shear at its time, he would still have to drive out 3 seconds on Velo and everyone else if he wants that win. So yeah, very, very difficult there indeed for him. But it's not the end of the world, I would say. Not
plenty can still happen. Yeah, plenty can still happen as this race then continues. Alexander's not that far off the back of J. Cole, so the Red Bull does not have it all his own way. He can't just concentrate on Casu ahead. Velo is just kind of doing what he needs to do, really. He can just run this race by the numbers. He knows that he'll see that J. Cole is out of position to where he needs to be for the championship, as Kango Khan has just swept around the outside of Zedima. The medium shot Ferrari has gotten past Zedima into turn 1. Nicely done. He's got a bit of a gap though, 3.5 seconds before he catches up to Alexander. What are the time life? You touched on this earlier, but what's the time life expectations of the 3 compounds?
The time difference between the 3 compounds is about, for each of them, about half a second quicker or slower, depending on which way you go. So the medium half a second slower than the soft, and the hard another half a second slower than the mediums.
And the tire life?
On the tire life, we have 16 laps on the softs, 19 on the mediums, 24 on the hards. However, Brazil is one of those curious tracks where the tire life given in the game does not necessarily match up with what the drivers do, at the very least. The drivers tend to take these tires about 1 or 2 laps longer than usual, so we will see most likely soft to medium 1-stops, even for the drivers that have qualified inside the top 10. The likes of Hautayoki, Velo, Casu, J. Cole, Alexander. They will probably take a soft to medium 1-stop here. And Kango-Kon, you see there, started on the mediums. Well, he will probably switch on to softs later on in the race. And yeah, I think 18 laps is probably what you can take the soft tires, if you so choose. That obviously would include the hot lap in qualifying. So knock that down a peg to 17 then. Maybe even 16 in the race, but it would still work. So yeah, would expect the drivers to run soft to medium here through this race.
Casu acting as a lovely rear gunner for Velo there, as J. Cole is getting very, very close to the back of the Williams, but nowhere really to make a pass. Now, if he can get a decent run out of Jun Xiao, which he does, but so does Casu, he's too far back to make a challenge. Casu's had an absolutely storming run out of Jun Xiao, closes in a little bit on Velo to keep him in touch, but really left J. Cole rather standing there. And of course, he's going to reel that back in as we work our way through. The centre rest is down towards turn 4 once again. Alexander doing a good job on hanging on to the back of this particular train. Let's switch to that view, and yeah, J. Cole's just got no choice, just got to keep that pressure on, keep going through the miles and hope that someone makes a mistake around him. Again, he just gets really, really close to the Williams in the faster sections of the track, and at the right time Cassie just nails it coming out of Jun Xiao and leaves the Red Bull standing.
Yeah, and that's going to be so difficult for J. Cole to do anything here to get past. You see how close he gets there through what is turn 10, I think? Let me just quickly look. Yeah, turn 10. There we go. I'm not very comfortable with the numbers here. But yeah, and then the moment they get up the hill, he will have DRS, but so will Kasu, and that really hurts J. Cole here. He doesn't find a way past in this DRS train. He's the third car in the train. And the third car in the train is the one that has the toughest job. And if the second car in the train doesn't get close to the first car, then you have a pretty, I don't want to say stale race, but you have a stalemate at the very least.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You have a bit of a stalemate there between Velo and Kasu right now, and J. Cole's just not close enough yet to make a move happen. He has to get creative, really. In this situation, it's all about creativity. You have to make a move where you normally wouldn't try. For example, here into turn 8, he's not close enough this time around, but if he can just look at how much gains under braking there. He almost runs into the back of that Williams. If he gets a bit more creative, a bit more daring as well, he might have himself an opportunity there into turn 8, which it's not the best overtaking opportunity on the track, and not even close. But it's a good one if you need to try something when everything else has failed.
Yeah, totally. And also Alexander, as previously mentioned, he's still looming there, so he could still upset J. Cole's passing even further by trying to move of his own to try and get up into 4th position on track and not just rely on the penalty situation. Also further back, Kangoo Khan and Zadima are still fairly close together. The Alpha is still behind the Ferrari at the moment. Everyone else is fairly spread out. Graham is fairly close to the back of Lucky Finger. Graham opting to start on the harder tyres, curiously. But he's trying his best to make that one work for him. But yeah, that's that quartet. Oh, beg your pardon. Jumping Garrow when I didn't need to. Yeah, that quartet, 2nd to 5th remaining. Well, very much as we've seen them all 12 laps so far. Oops, Lucky Finger pushing his luck a little too far, and he gets his name on the penalty board.
Yeah, well, you got 4 drivers now, J. Cole being one of them, the only championship contender. At this point, we are down to two championship contenders. Almost lost my words there. As Merckx has already retired after losing the front wing twice in the first about 5 laps of the race. And so race over for him at this point. He will remain in P3 in the championship, as this gap to 4th was 53 points before the race. And that was to Jake, who is not participating here tonight. And so his gap to Kasu was in fact 61 points. And I mean, Kasu could race the race of his life. He won't get 61 points in one race.
No, indeed he won't, but he's having a good run, though, in 3rd position under the pressure of the Red Bull. And here we go once again, coming up to turn 8. Bit of a lock-up from those in front, but pretty much everybody is locking that unloaded tyre into that right-hander. And yeah, J. Cole once again is able to just kind of keep the Williams in touch through the section where he can't do anything with it. What he really needs is Velo to either back the Williams up or Velo to disappear so that Kasu can't get any advantage off the back of the Mercedes. But that's not going to happen in a hurry. Who is going to blink first for pit stops? Now, we're not expecting anybody in for another few laps just yet. But you're talking about being creative. I wonder if anybody might try and undercut from here.
Yeah, I think it could be a possibility to try and go for the undercut onto the hards. It certainly will keep you vulnerable later on, and especially around this track where it's easy to overtake, you might not want to do it. But it seems like right now, although that being said, J. Cole's getting really close here through turn 4. He might have an opportunity through Ferradura. Is he going to try it here? No, he stays by, but look at how close he is. Yeah, but look at how close he is. Into turn 8, this might be the chance. Is he going to go for it? Oh, he doesn't dare trying it. He knows he's better on the brakes. I don't understand why he's not risking that. The opportunity is there. He was so close to the rear wing of that Williams in front. He could have just sent one there, and Kasu would have to leave him the space at that point to not collide. But yeah, I think J. Cole's maybe thinking about a little bit of the bigger picture here. Thinking about, you know, what if Velo for some reason crashes, and oh, there's the
Here he
undercut.
comes.
There is that, but then there's no point in overtaking if you're going for the pit stop at the end of lap 14. That would be 22 laps for J. Cole, and he's going for mediums.
Yep.
That is early, that is risky, but honestly, in his situation, I like it.
Yeah,
I think it's the right call.
Very much. Why not at this point? So that leaves Kasu to keep Velo company. Although, do you think anyone's going to react to J. Cole's early stop?
I don't think they will yet. I think it's going to take them probably a couple of laps as they want to make sure that they can get to the end of the race on the tires they will get onto. But one thing that might hurt J. Cole later on is that he will definitely get up to 70% on the tires. And that will leave him incredibly vulnerable. And he's stuck behind Graham right now as well.
Yeah, he is. His
And that
outlap is going to be very,
painful.
very compromised indeed. Very compromised.
He does respond.
How Yoki
the
didn't.
leader.
Oh!
Velo as well, Casper, everyone coming in.
J. Cole
Alexander
is-
has to stay out.
Oh, J. Cole was side by side with the Racing Point. He knows he's got to get the move done, but he's just losing so much time. He should now be able to blast past the Racing Point, and he does. But that exchange is going to cost him the opportunity to try and leapfrog anybody in the pits. As Dow, the Red Bull, coming down the pits. Yeah, as you say, everybody pretty much came
He
in.
might be behind Kasu. He might be behind Kasu after
Yeah.
that, being held up like that. This is going to be very, very interesting here. He's coming through the center S, through turn 3, and just passes. Does he pass Kasu? Oh, just side by side. And I think Kasu's trying to hold it. And they touch, and he runs wide off the track. And he is behind indeed. So being held up behind Graham there really cost J. Cole significantly. Oh my goodness. And this is sometimes why you need a race engineer. I don't think J. Cole has one right now. I don't think any of the drivers have one for this race. But this is why you need one sometimes. They need to tell you the gap back behind to some other drivers who are still on a different strategy, like Graham. Then J. Cole may have known that going for the one-lap undercut here might not be the right call. As Alexander's now in, Zadima stays out. Okay. Zadima likes the tires, it seems, as he is being overtaken by Hautayoki, but he will not mind. In fact, he will get some DRS back here down the back straight down. Ooh, massive moment there for Zadima as well. Velo now on the penalty board, and that shifts things back a little bit towards J. Cole. They're still massively in favor of Velo, but you know, that helps a little bit. I think J. Cole sees the light of day again after it got very, very dark for him after he got that penalty and got stuck behind Graham and lost the position to Kasu. A little bit of hope.
Indeed, indeed, as the race continues on its merry way, getting close to the halfway stage of this final race of the season. As we work our way down through Perenino once again, on board with J. Cole, chasing Kasu, trying to regain what is currently 5th position. Of course, Kango is the one that hasn't pitted yet. Hayashi is still very untroubled. He dispatched Zadima fairly easily and is 3.7 seconds behind Kango to continue on his merry way, continue his run of dominance. Of the 4 races he's been in, he's won 3 of them. So yeah, he's pretty talented, is Mr. Hautayoki. As Zadima has brought the Alfa Romeo in from 3rd place, and medium tyres for him. At this stage, that's probably the right decision to go for. It's really the only decision to go for, isn't it? If you haven't pitted yet, I'd have thought mediums realistically will be your best option. But J. Cole, well, all he can do is really kind of hope for the best and just keep pressing on at this point.
Yeah, at this point, that's really the best he can do. Just get the head down, try his best, hopefully get an overtake down on Kasu. Now that Velo has, as you called it earlier, disappeared a little bit, to the tune of about 1.5 seconds, there might be an opportunity here for J. Cole on the DRS to potentially make the move. Ideally, you'd want it into turn 4 more than you'd want it into the center S, because you get the next DRS zone right after, and so you want to be ahead by the time the infield comes around. But that's where, look at that, Casu almost 9/10 of a second ahead of J. Cole. It just seems that the Williams, from my point of view, it seems like the Williams just has a massive lack of downforce compared to the Red Bull, but also increased top speed, and that really helps Casu just defend in general. But then in the infield, where it's borderline impossible to overtake, you know, that's where J. Cole gets the advantage back, but it's too little, too late, and too difficult to do so.
Yeah, very much so, as yet again we see J. Cole just closing back in on Casu, but he's not going to be able to use it through that second sector. And we'll see what he can do. The rest of the field relatively spread out at this point now, as Hautayoki's closing in on Kangokon still. Because Kangokon's not going to be in the pits for a little while with those medium tyres that he started on. And it's unlikely that the Ferrari is going to cause the Renault any particular issue. 7 seconds nearly separates Hautayoki from Velo. So yet again, the Shazoo driver just waltzing off into the sunset as we continue to watch J. Cole. He's absolutely nowhere near Casu at that point, as Casu just nailing that exit every single time from Jun Xiao. A bit of a locker there for both of them coming into turn 1, into the top of the center S's. Is he a little bit closer this time? Not. Well, if he is, he's not close enough to be able to make a move into that turn 4, as the camera decides to look backwards from J. Cole to absolutely no one. Alexander's fallen quite a bit off the back of this. Now, bearing in mind that before the pit stops, Alexander was on the back of J. Cole. He's now nearly 3 seconds behind. Hautayoki is getting very, very close to Kangokon, but judging by where they are now, it looks like Hautayoki is just going to be able to blast past the Ferrari on the start-finish straight.
Yeah, I think what happened for Alexander was that he got stuck behind Graham as well once he came out of the pit lane, and that cost him so much time there that he's now 3.5 seconds behind J. Cole. As there goes Hautayoki for the lead, as Kangokon is now in the pit lane. He will go for the soft tire. That is pretty certain, and in fact he is. He will drop back to, I think, if he's lucky, ahead of Graham, but likely behind. However, it's going to get pretty close between the two, but I think Graham will have the advantage on the wider road there, and the shorter run as well. In fact, he does. But Kangokon should have an advantage over Graham to the tune of about, I would guess right now, probably 2 seconds a lap. He's got so much more grip than Graham on his old hard tires that I think Kangokon should be able to make a move happen here very quickly, and in fact very, very soon. He might fancy it here already. Look at how close he gets there. Oh, and you see how slow he is. In fact, look at Kangokon. He might go around the outside here of Graham. Graham leaves him some space.
Ooh,
wisely so.
Nice.
Down the inside, and there goes Kangokon, and that is a wonderful overtake there. Well done from Graham as well to have the awareness to see that there is a car on his outside and not squeeze him off. So I think respect shown here by both drivers, and ultimately a position gain for Kangokon. Lost about, I would guess, a second in this whole scenario, but ultimately not that much. And now he can hunt after Alexander and J. Cole, Casu, and Velo potentially as well, because this strategy will come towards Kangokon right now. This is his best time, and I think he might have an opportunity here to, at the very least, close up to the top 4, or P2 to P4. Of course, Hautayoki driving away quite a bit, but P4, well, P5 and a secure P5 might be a potential. Plus, don't forget the penalties. Kangokon doesn't have one. J. Cole and Velo both do.
Also
so
true.
Kangokon might get himself a podium if he stays penalty free.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's been on the podium, but it's the first time in a while, if he does get on the podium, that he would have done so. Last time was in Spain, and that was 5 rounds ago. So, okay, he wasn't in 2 of them, I grant you. He wasn't at Zandvoort or in Monza, so possibly a little unfair to count those in that particular stat, but that is still was a little while ago when he was on the podium last. always, and Kangokon with the fastest lap. That's probably a non-surprise due to the tyre advantage. And again, just watching J. Cole, he seems to be a bit closer this time, but again, he's not closer where he needs to be closer to Kasu, unless he's going to try and dive on the inside of turn 8. He's close, has a little look, but he's not close enough to realistically make the move. I wonder whether J. Cole decided that he's not going to get to the position he needs, because he needs Velo to have a problem, really. He needs the Mercedes to kind of detonate almost and just fall out of contention, which obviously isn't happening at the moment. But he's staying in position in case it does, I suspect. Maybe rather than trying to push for an unrealistic podium that he would then have to really fight very hard to maintain, he may well just be opting to stay where he is just in case, on the off chance that Velo does have a problem.
Yeah, but at the same time, look at him go here into the
Never mind.
I think he heard you, decided, you know what? Nah, that's not enough for me. I want that position. This time around didn't work, but I think he's not. Maybe he's just a little bit careful with turn 8, because as much as it is an opportunity, if you want to risk it, it is a very risky opportunity. If the other car does not expect it, if the other car does not see you coming, then there's a high chance of contact here into turn 8. And of course, for J. Cole, that's really not what he wants. But thinking about that right now, I mean, looking at it, Haotoyoki is far and away. The only way for J. Cole to win the championship at this point is to somehow, for Velo to have a problem, to fall down to P11, maybe even even P12. For him to get not just past Kasu, which I think he will do this time around. He's close enough. Kasu will, I think, go defensive here. No, he will not. He opens up the inside. There goes J. Cole. And that's a clean overtake. That's as easy as you like. And J. Cole up to P3, but immediately under pressure from Kasu. Right back at him. Kasu playing the Uno reverse card right here. Now going for the potential switchback. No, he does not. Bit too far away. However, I think Kasu might like this scenario right now, because Kasu gets to save some ERS, whereas J. Cole is going to have to use a whole lot of it to stay ahead.
Yeah, true enough. I just realised I haven't had that on all race long. I haven't had that particular panel on. My apologies. So there we go. We can now see what the ERS amount is for our drivers. So Kasu again doesn't have to make the move with the penalties that are directly ahead of him. He's still on board for taking second position at the moment. Of course, it really depends if Velo is going to try and undo that penalty. Now, if J. Cole's going to keep defending against Kasu, it's a prime opportunity for Velo to build up that gap that he needs, as Haotoyoki reminds us that he is indeed out front and regains the fastest lap from the soft shop Ferrari of Kangokon.
Yeah, not surprising once more how quick he is and how consistent he is as well. Really, really remarkable. I'm just going to quickly adjust what we have here in terms of standings right now. So right now, as things stand, disregarding penalties, I'm going to say that very clear, disregarding penalties, it would be Velo winning the championship by 19 points. Ultimately, as he would gain 3 on J. Cole. Then we would have Merckx obviously in third, who is already out of this race and who was confirmed third place. Kasu would jump Jake for fourth, but only by 4 points. There would be Haotoyoki in sixth, which is the best he can achieve today anyway. Right now, he would get that. The only one who could deny him is Kangokon, and he would have to actually really beat Haotoyoki here, because the gap between them was only 3 points in favor of Kangokon. And so if Haotoyoki wins, that's a clear 6th place for the Finnish driver for Shazoo.
And this is only his 5th race of the 16 race season. Just to highlight the fact, just to highlight how incredible that his pace has been.
Yeah, his 5th race, his 4th win if he does make it across the line in P1, which at this point seems likely, but we don't want to jinx him, of course. His 5th podium as well, because the one time he was not the winner
he did get a third place around Zandvoort. And just overall, I mean, it's truly remarkable.
That it is, as we continue to look at the battle for third at the moment. Casu just staying with J. Cole at the moment. Interesting that, well, this is where we've seen J. Cole's strongest during this infield section. So once again, the Red Bull just stretching his legs a little bit in that part. Now we should see the pendulum swinging back to Casu. Also, Alexander has been gaining on them lap on lap on lap. That gap was fairly hefty after the pit stops. It's now less than 2 seconds. So that Renault could again get involved in that battle for third before too long, or certainly before the checkered flag falls. And again, that gap has come down a bit between J-Con and Casu. DRS again on the Williams. Not really using a lot of not really using any ERS. He's just going through the miles, just keeping himself in contention for potentially that second place. We'll see as the race continues. We've got less than 10 to go to wrap up Season 2.
Yeah, Alexander has been basically halving the gap. It was about 3.5 to 4 seconds at the end of the pit stop. So I think this time Alexander may have made a mistake into turn 8. May have gone a little bit deep. He gained about 0.3 of a second there for one mini sector, and then he immediately lost them again. I think that may have just been him overcooking it a little bit into that corner. But yeah, 1.6 now. He's gaining consistently around, I would say, 3 to 4 tenths a lap. He might be on the back of Casu within, I'd say probably 4 laps. 3 to 4 laps, maybe 5. He's obviously losing a lot here on the main straight because he doesn't have DRS. Casu does. And Casu's now all over the back of J. Cole. Gap under 4 tenths. Maybe Casu fancies a move here. No, he doesn't use DRS. So, and J. Cole is down under 10%. So J. Cole really hurting at this point. I think this is going in the way of Casu here, this fight. Not just because of the penalty, of course, but even if Casu were to get a penalty, I think this is still going in his way and his favor, and he will likely take that position back on track at some point.
Yeah, indeed. Also, Kangakon's been making good progress because he's on those softer tyres. So, yeah, it's the expectation for him to be making progress on that top block, but he could well get involved. It'll be a bit of a stretch. He could certainly look to pester Alexander for that 5th position before the checkered flag falls in 7 laps' time, but whether he has a go at the remaining top few guys. Oh, that's Casu with a great run on the exit of Junshao. J. Cole's gone for that defensive line and has got no chance of keeping the Williams behind him. He did what he could, but that was a great run yet again from Casu, using the advantage of his setup to the best effect.
Yeah, remarkable. I mean, this is how you want to take that final corner. This is how you want to take that exit of Junshao, and he did that perfectly. Got the great run there. It surprises me a bit that J. Cole is not able to get a good run out of Junshao in general. I've been watching his on board for like at least the last 10 laps, his and Casu's, depending on whoever was behind, and every single time it just looks like J. Cole cannot get a good exit out of Junshao. Even though he has the setup that is more geared towards that, he should have an advantage there based on the higher downfalls that he has. He should get a better exit, but every single time he just struggles mightily there.
Indeed, 1.2 less than that now between J. Cole and Alexander. It's only a 2-lap difference on his tyres to those ahead of him, but he's still been able to reel in that gap lap on lap on lap, and less than 2 seconds now back to Kangokon. So this Conga line is going to get quite a bit bigger before the checkered flag falls in now 6 laps left of this final race. J. Cole and Casu through the center S's, and here we go again. This is what we were looking at before we swapped positions with these two quite a number of laps ago, but now that Renault's much closer, and the Ferrari behind it. There is Kangokon just coming into the shot. So there is still, I think we're still in for some plot twists here before the checkered flag falls, as we still see the same kind of lockups all that we've been seeing all race long. Ooh, it's going to be difficult to call, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult, and to take your previous figure of speech of calling it a Congo line, I think within a lap or two we might be turning this into a Kango line, as we have both Alexander and KangoKon close in. In fact, KangoKon, it shows Alexander having disconnected.
Yeah, that's
Not
what I was
sure
going to
he
say.
has.
I don't remember seeing that. Oh, he's vanished.
He's been teleported back to
8th
the
place on
middle
my
sector.
screen.
Yeah, back to the middle
dear.
sector.
Well, at least we saw the same thing this time.
Yeah, for once, thankfully. So the rejoin has in fact worked. Jake Hall meanwhile getting closer and closer. But yeah, KangoKon now 2.7. He must have been as confused as we are, I think, at that sight of the Renault just disappearing in front of him. That was certainly interesting there. But yeah, KangoKon 2.5 seconds now to Jake Hall. Don't think he's going to be able to get there actually now that Alexander is out sort of as the middleman between them. I think that's going to be incredibly difficult for him to bridge that gap with the tires just starting to wane more and more. I think KangoKon has about an advantage of, I guess, half a second maybe at this point. Maybe 7 or 8 tenths of a second. But considering that KangoKon seems to be a bit slower on raw pace, the overall lap time, if we just quickly compare that as they both came across the line, for KangoKon last lap was 1 minute 9.2, very consistent in fact, in the low 1 minute 9s. For J. Cole, it's mid 1 minute 9s, 9.4, and the same for Kasu. So both drivers there only losing about 2 to 3 tenths a lap to KangoKon. That will not be enough for the French driver to catch up to the cars in front, to the Excel trio, if you will. Well, really, they're more of a duo at this point because, of course, Velo has pulled away a little bit. But, yeah, he will not be able to catch up, I think, unless he finds a bit more pace.
Well, he hasn't got long to do something about it. The tyres will certainly be past their best now. We're still seeing time penalties on the board. Unsurprisingly, not for Hautayoki. It's very rare we see his name on the penalty board. Kasu still maintaining that 0 penalty count, which will be quite key in him gaining that second position. When was Kasu last on the podium? He has been second twice and third once on this season. Last time out on the podium, beg your pardon, he was third last week, third last race in Spa. So he's looking to better that one this time out. And yet again, Jacob's just got no answer to that. I think you're right. I think KangoKon's now going to be too far back with not enough left in the tyres to make a difference on this fight that's going on. Velo, I think, may well have just let off the gas a little bit, knowing he's going to finish ahead of his main championship rival of J. Cole. So Kasu is looking set to inherit that second position, but with still 3 laps to go, still anything can happen.
Yeah, most certainly, but at this point I'm going to say that even if Velo were to disconnect right now, I think he would still win the championship. Yeah. So very, very unlikely for a major championship shift to happen here. But we're going to see how things shake out. I think Velo is on his final 2 laps now to celebrate the championship after... Really, I think the breaking point for him in this championship, the breaking point really for J. Cole, I think, was the 0-0 for him and Merckx in Italy 2 weeks ago. That was really what decided it. Velo getting a fantastic second place. Only 2 races the whole season where he finished better. That was China and France, of course, where he won. So, and only 1 other race where he finished as good as second place. That was the season opener in Austria. So basically his 3rd/4th best result, and just so crucial to get a big result like that when both of your opponents are either not there, in the case of Merckx, who was unavailable for whatever reason, or have just an absolute, I mean, if I may say this, an absolute stinker of a race in the case of J. Cole. Disconnect, issues all in all, and just nothing went his way. 0 for him, his only 0 in the championship.
And yeah, I think Velo was just the most consistent one throughout the whole season.
Yeah, completely. His worst points tally was 7 at Monaco. That's the worst points all Velo's had. He has not failed to finish anywhere, which is in itself an absolutely brilliant record to maintain, as we're now on the final lap. Is Jacob going to try and make the move on Casu coming down into turn 4? That's close, but he does manage it. I mean, it's going to be for nothing because he is with the penalty. He's going to reverse that, but on track at least, the Red Bull has made the move on the Williams. Is, well, judging by the performance we've seen thus far, is looking set to maintain that. But it's, unless a meteor falls out of the sky, I think it's fair to say that we are seeing another victory for 4 out of 5 for Finder Yum, as he's known in Discord for some reason. But your winner in the season finale here at Interlagos, he's celebrating already, is the Renault of Hautajoki, second, and the championship to go to the Mercedes of Velo. Very nicely driven. Jay Colley's going to cross the line in third, but Casu, if I'm correct, he's going to go up to second. Yes, he does indeed inherit that second, but only by 3.5 tenths in fairness. Kangoo Kon actually gets into fourth because of the penalties going on. Jay Cole demoted to fifth. Zadima is going to cross the line. We did see him earlier, but haven't seen him for a while. There he is. He's going to claim 6th position. The man of black pants is going to come home in 7th position. Alexander, what might have been, was doing pretty well earlier on, but has slammed his car into the wall before crossing the line. Exy is done 30 laps on those hard tyres. My goodness, how has he not detonated them? That's pretty impressive. Well, 31 laps when he crosses over the line. Just 2 cars remaining, and I didn't even get to switch to them before they crossed the line. Well. So the championship is going to go to Velo. I mean, Kangoo Kon gets driver of the day, which is fair because I think he started towards the back and ended up finishing in 4th position. But what a race and what a season.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, huge congratulations to Velo there. Let's just quickly run through the standings, as I think I have got them right. Let me just quickly check to make sure. The final positions there. Yeah, Sniper in 12th. Oh, never mind. Haha. Graham 11th, Lucky Finger 10. They switched on penalties there. So, but it does actually make a difference. It does actually make a difference, that 1 point switch. So Velo wins the championship with 220 points. 21 ahead of J. Cole at 199. Mercked in third, 184. Casu 4th, 141. Jake W 5th, 131. Hautajoki 6th, 117. Kangoo Kon finishes in 7th at 106. Vapor Sven is hold on, I missed someone, I think. Yeah, no, okay, Kangoo Kon 7th. Yeah, there you go. Vapor Sven in 8th with 79. Zadima doesn't get him, misses out by 4 points on that top 8, finishes 9th on 75 points. Exy finishes in P10, 68 points. Black Panther just gets P11 off of Mr. Anchor, 58 points. The 6 points from today just edge him up by 1 point over Mr. Anchor, who has 57 and will finish in 12th. And then Graham in 13th with 36. Lucky Finger in 14th with 26. And the final 2 that participated here tonight, I'm just going to mention them because we had a lot more drivers there, but I don't want to go through 28 drivers. It will be Alexander, who finishes in 19th with 11 points, and Sniper, who finishes in 20th with 9.
Our podium 3 have joined us for the final interview of the season. Let's have a chat with them. Let's have a natter to our race winner, Mr. Hautajoki. Are you with us?
Yes.
Well, yet another fairly untroubled race for you up front. How was the scenery up front? No one really troubled you at all.
Well, the biggest problem was actually figuring out whether to go for the mediums or hards. But yeah, it was just felt good on that race.
You didn't
Better
fancy
than
trying
previous races.
intermediates or anything like that?
Yeah, no, that would have been too much.
I mean, we said that, of the 5 races you've taken part in this season, you've won 4 of them. Absolutely, that's just unreal pace. That's, again, just lost for words. Well done.
I didn't win that one race, so next season better.
you have an aspiration. I mean, my goodness me, you still score more wins than any one single driver in this season, though. In fairness,
That's something to be proud of. That's worth a drink.
So, will you be back for season 3?
Yes, definitely.
The bar has been set, and we look forward to seeing that when the season kicks off in the near future. Thank you very much, and well done on yet another win. It's Hautioki.
Thank you.
Let's have a chat with the podium inheritor. Second place going to Kasu.
Yes, hello.
Well, were you just trying to keep things under control? Because you had J. Cole behind you for a lot of that.
Yeah, he put a lot of pressure on me, but I think I stayed kinda cool and didn't get any penalties, which I am really happy of, and really happy with the result overall.
Now, was it a case of you were just kind of minding your own business, or were you sort of really fighting hard to keep J. Cole behind you?
Half and half, really.
Fair enough.
I was really trying to catch up to Velho, but just couldn't. It was the gap stayed the same the whole race. It was really annoying, to be fair, but got the constructors at the end, so I don't care.
Nicely done, nicely done. Will we see you back for season 3?
Hopefully. I would really like to be back.
We hope you are returning to us as well. Well done on the podium, and good luck for the future. Thank you very much, Kasu.
Thank you.
Well, champion! What amazing consistency. Another podium to finish off with. Velo, are you with us?
Hello.
Well, you have got the title. You must be feeling pretty happy about that, sir.
Yes, I am pretty happy, as you said.
So, again, when qualifying was done, you must have been pretty confident you could maintain the position you needed to. You did have the advantage of not needing to be towards the sharp end. Was it just a case of keeping clean and keeping out of trouble, or was it still trying to push for the higher positions?
I mean, I can't challenge Finn Deum because he's a GOAT, but I just knew I had to maintain the second positions because Kassu wasn't going to do anything stupid because he wasn't even in the fight, so it was just cruising around, keeping everything together.
Oh, that's good to see. And will you be back to defend the championship next time around?
Yes, sure.
Great stuff. Well, congratulations on the championship. You finished every single round of the season, and that in itself is an incredible achievement. 2 wins under the belt and a scattering of podiums as well. The championship is yours and very well deserved. Congratulations, well done, and best of luck for the future. Thank you very much, Velo.
Thank you.
We have a few more drivers that have joined us. We have Mr. Black Pant, otherwise known as Black Panther. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Now, what technical troubles do you keep having? Is it just your Wi-Fi not wanting to give you an advantage?
I have no idea. Like, I was pretty happy with the qualifier result, and then suddenly, like, I think I was trying to press record, but somehow I think I pressed on my what's it called? Where you put out the internet, and that's it's like an aeroplane symbol.
Oh no, you hit the aeroplane mode on the router. Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, I don't know how. And then I rejoined, and I was like right on the grid, and suddenly my tires were like 50 degrees or something like that, and I was like, oh no. So yeah, that was a little bit of a struggle, but I think I managed to do pretty well considered all of the things that happened.
Fair play. Well, let's hope for more consistent and more good luck next time around. Will you be back for season 3?
Of course. I like this league is a really fun place, very chill people as well. With huge kudos to Jaco for letting everything run smooth and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm surely gonna be here next season.
That's awesome news to see. Well, best of luck for the future. Hopefully some more consistent internet connection and some more better results, more befitting of your talent. Thank you very much, Black Panther.
Thank you.
We also have one of our reserves. Alexander, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Well, again, you were in the midst of a few battles, a few points, but then it became a bit of a lonely race for you. Initially, my system didn't know where anybody was. I had you in second at one point. So how was that one for you? How was Interlagos? How does Interlagos usually treat you?
Is not. I don't think it's a great track, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I have to perform these kind of tracks better, but I still was happy with the quali pace and the race pace. And Findayum had to go to the pits before me, so I couldn't go the lap I wanted to.
No,
And
no.
The lap the extra lap I had to make, which was like I lost 3 seconds to J. Cole, and I thought the race was dead, but then on the end I was catching up again. But I had a sprint freeze of I think 20 seconds, and I had to finish P7.
Because we saw. I was going to ask you about that because we were watching you. You were. Yeah, you were showing as disconnected, and suddenly you jumped backwards like a whole sector.
Yeah, I lost about 20 seconds straight, and which was sad because J. Cole had a penalty, and I think I could have overtaken Casu, so that could have been a podium maybe. But for the first time being here, this league is, as Black Panther said, a lot of great people, great community, so I hope to race here if I have an opportunity on the next season.
Excellent. You answered the question I was going to ask next. We will look forward to seeing you towards the sharper end of the grid in Season 3. Thank you very much, Alexander.
Thank you.
And now the captain of the ship for the PC side, J. Carl, are you with us?
Good evening, good evening.
Well, you did what you could, but the odds were a little bit stacked against you for the championship. But even still, a great run through the season. Just all really kind of rather undid itself for you in Monza, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that's just where it went downhill, and I think I just couldn't do anything about it. Fair play to Velo, like he didn't put a foot wrong at all in this season, and in my opinion, I feel like he deserves it better than I do. It was close, I will admit, very very close between all three. Between all three of us, but I suppose the finish come out on top. The finisher finished.
Yeah, very true. Now you've steered the ship for the PC side over here at LOE. How do you feel the season has gone overall?
I'll tell you what, it's been a lot better than what I may have actually anticipated. I mean, last season, how it played out, we just had drivers constantly coming and going, kind of like this season, but it's been a lot more consistent drivers. There's been a lot more battles, not only at the front, but towards the midfield, even at the back end as well. Different drivers have been getting like different points and stuff like that. So overall, I'm quite happy with how it has gone. I am, of course, also thankful to all the guys that raced in the PC side, whether they've left it by now or if they are still if they did manage to drive tonight, and of course also to you two beautiful gents as well throughout the entire season, as well as Hamish. I am very thankful, of course, for you guys doing what you do each week, every single Friday. And I do hope, you've asked the drivers, but I'll ask you two, I really do hope you are sticking with us next season.
I mean, for myself, I will need to clarify my commitments do tend to change fairly regularly, but it's certainly from my perspective, it's always a pleasure. It's never a chore to commentate on these races.
Of course, no worries at all. Obviously, yeah, I get commitments. They can happen. So. I don't think we're going to be doing another season on this game anyway. We're just going to be waiting until the new game. However, I think we might be there might be something in the works between now and the new game that comes out. So for all the guys that are still listening, make sure you're keeping an eye out on the announcements channel, and possibly within the next week or two, there might be something coming.
It's exciting news afoot. Well, we very much look forward to that. Well done on putting together an incredible season and keeping this ship steering in the right direction. Thank you very much. Great work. And we look forward to its continuation. Thank you very much, J. Cole.
Thank you as always, lads.
And that is going to be it for tonight. So congratulations to Velo on sealing the Drivers' Championship. It's been a great season to commentate on. and I very much look forward to its continuation. Thank you very much, Badgerman, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. It's a difficult job, but you weather it well.
It's not as difficult as you make it sound. Stop that. No, I'm very, very thankful for League of Europe to bringing me on here midway through the season. If you remember, I didn't start out the season here, but very exciting, very enjoyable. Big thanks, of course, to you as well, Kodiak, for putting up with me every week. Well, almost every week. Of course, 2 weeks ago, you had something else to do, and I think in Singapore as well. But other than that, thank you and thank you so much for organizing your own stand-in as well. Would be easy to just say, you know what, I can't do it. You guys find someone else, but you forwarded Hamish here, and he did a great job as well. Want to thank him as well for standing in and making this a lot easier. But yeah, very, very enjoyable season, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Indeed, indeed, yes. Thank you very much, Hamish, for standing in for me for the weeks where I had other commitments to take care of. We do hope that you listening along, watching along, I should say, either live or post-event, do come back for subsequent seasons. For those looking to get involved, please do locate League of Europe either on Discord or on the socials. Absolutely amazing team of people here that will find a home for you in some way, shape or form. But for this season, all is done. But as Jacob was saying, there will be announcements abound in the coming days, so keep an eye out for that. Until then, thank you very much, and good night!